There was a big askin from Eretz Yisrael, and he had to go to Europe to oversee an operation for a young boy who was deathly ill. He flies over to Switzerland with the family, he makes sure everything's okay, gets him into the hospital, and after his job was done, he had a hotel. He went back to his hotel, checked in, he was gonna relax a little bit. It was a heavy trip and dealing with all the paperwork and the legal stuff in his family. They didn't know how to speak, they didn't know English, they didn't know anything. So he was there for them, and he finally was excited to go back to his hotel, relax for a few minutes, get a good night's sleep, and he was gonna go a couple days later. He walks into the hotel and he meets this other couple from Eretz Yisrael. Not familiar, didn't know them, didn't know their name. And he says, oh, nice to meet you. My name is Moshe Schwartz from Eretz Yisrael, and I'm here on this mission to help this family. Say, oh, very nice, a little chit chat. This encounter's happened at, let's say, 6 p.m. Moshe goes back up to his room in the hotel, and hours later, he needed to come back to the lobby to get a tea. Comes back 5-6 hours later, it's ready, 11-12 in the morning, and he's perplexed. He sees this couple with their daughter still joining Zach in the lobby. And he went back and he said, are you the same people that I saw 6 hours ago? And I said, yeah. He said, what are you doing here? You're sitting in a hotel lobby, what? Are you okay? And they said, well, truthfully, we're from Eretz Yisrael, we don't have any money, and we can't afford another night in the hotel. So we figured, we're here for one night, couple nights, and we can't afford another one, but we're leaving tomorrow morning, so we're just gonna drazach on the couches over here, and when our taxi comes in the morning, we're gonna leave, but we have our bags ready to go. And this asking, Moshe Schwartz, looks at this couple with their daughter, and he said, are you crazy? You think I'm gonna let you sit here for the next 5-6 hours alone? He said, come to my room. He took them, welcomed them into his room, and he had food and drinks, and he sat and farbrang with them, danced and was mechazik them. 6:30, 7 o'clock, the father gets a notification, a call, the taxi's here. They part ways. Months later, this askin goes back to Eretz Yisrael. The family goes back to Eretz Yisrael. This sick child gets better, goes back. And this askin gets a letter in the mail. And it says, dear Mechutan, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the chasana. So he opens up the letter. He says, dear Mechutan, I didn't marry off any of my kids. He opens it up, he looks at the invitation. He has no idea who this invitation is from. Definitely no Mechutan, he thinks it's just an epic mistake. Someone must have made. A day later, he gets a call. Shalom, is that Moshe? He says, yeah, who is this? He says, you remember me? I was the Yid that you bumped into in the lobby in Switzerland. And he says, oh, Shalom Aleichem, of course I remember you. He says, I just sent you an invitation to your chasana. He said, let me explain to you. He said, I didn't tell you why I was in that lobby. I told you that I was waiting for my taxi, but there was a backstory. He said, I was in Switzerland because my daughter, who you saw in the lobby, was with my wife and my daughter. My daughter was dating a guy. My daughter went off the derech and wanted absolutely nothing to do with myself, with my wife, with the rest of the family. To the point, she was dating this guy and ready to get married. And all she wanted was for us to bring her some money to get the chasana ready, make a few preparations, bring her some last minute possessions she forgot. But after that, saying goodbye to us, says Chama Shalom, nice knowing you for the 20 whatever years, going out with this guy living in Switzerland and falling off the map. So what happened was, you didn't even know, but you came over, you asked us our name, you asked us what you're doing over here, you showed you cared. You don't understand the impression, the indelible impression that you had on my daughter. For a week we were Jane Zach in Switzerland and nobody asked us, how you doing, what are you here for, you're an Israeli couple with a daughter, what's going on? You were the first one. To the point that we got on the plane and my daughter said, Mommy, Tati, if this is what an Erlich Yid is, I may have been tainted, I may have gotten beaten up over the past few years, but I'm signing back up. On the plane, my daughter broke off the shidduch with this guy, came back with us to Eretz Yisrael, resubscribed, and a few months later, right now, she became a challah to Ben Torah, and she's ready to commit her life back to Torah mitzvahs. And that is why I wrote on this letter, Dear Mechutan, because without you, there is no chance I would ever have this opportunity. My daughter would never have Jewish Jarashow of Yidden, B'nai Torah, Jews, and it's all in Yitzchus. And I'm forever indebted to you, and I want you at this chasna. You are the Mechutan. The moral of the story, there's hundreds, but one is for sure. We cannot underestimate the power of a Havas Chinam, one kind word.